But these poses are going to be really awesome for us. All righty. All right, let's turn that off. All right. Hello and welcome. Welcome to you if you are joining me on Facebook. Welcome if you are joining me via Zoom. My name is Regina, if we have not met. And if we have met, it's so great to see you again. And welcome to my practice space. So today we're going to get right into a nice yin practice. If you haven't done a yin practice, it involves some deep holding of poses for 3 to 5 minutes. And we're also going to do some poses some counter poses after we come out of that to kind of just release those poses. A couple of precautions if you are pregnant. This is not the practice for you right now. Pregnant women develop the hormone, the relaxing hormone, so your body is starting to get ready to stretch. So we don't want to do anything more than that. If you have any injuries, it can be a good practice, but I want you to check with your doctor first, especially if you're having surgeries, have had surgeries. Just make sure that it's okay with your doctor before you practice this, or any practice is super important. But this can help to, if you have like knee issues or hip issues, it's going to help to open up the hips. Any shoulders can help to open up the shoulders. But again, I'm not right there in front of you, so I don't know what your issues are. So just to be safe, if you're starting it and you feel any kind of like, oh, this is not cool, this is not good, I want you to come out of it, and then we'll talk another time. We can talk later. Okay, so are you ready to get started with yin? So the shoulder poses we're going to hold for a little bit less time than we do the hip poses, just because the shoulder girdle is a little more delicate than the hips. We're all delicate, but the shoulder is a little more delicate. So I'm going to come out of those poses a little bit sooner than the hip poses. If you see me come out, you don't follow me until you hear the bell. I got a little singing bowls that are going to tell us when to come in and out of the practice. So if you see me come out, just because I did this practice earlier, I'm feeling a little in the tummy this morning. So if you see me come out, don't worry about me. You keep going and I'll let you know and I'll guide you and I'll give you some tools to help you breathe. All right. So first thing we're going to start with is a child's pose. Let's take our bricks. I think I'm going to turn out this light. Yes, you can still see me. I'm going to turn on this light. We're going to start in a child's pose with bricks. So big toes are going to come together. Knees are going to come wide, and I should just sit back onto your heels. Now we're going to take the bricks. Let me move back a little bit because I'm going to hit all my stuff. We're going to take the bricks, and we're going to slide them out as we reach, and then bring the forehead down. Now, immediately for me, I'm feeling a little bit of tension in my shoulders because it's doing a little flexion of the shoulders a little more than we're used to. I'm setting my timer. So if you need to bring a bolster or a blanket up underneath your forehead to bring the floor up a little bit closer, feel free, all right? And I just want you to settle in. I'm gonna start the timer. You may be able to hear it, you may not, but again, it's right next to me. I'll tell you when. Yeah, so just start to soften. Again, you might see me or you might hear me come out of it because I need to talk and you can't hear me. So again, soften into it. It might be a little bit intense at first, but I want you to take your breath, breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, and just work on those inhales and exhales. Work on elongating them, making them a little bit longer each time. And then focus as the breath goes into your nostrils and just watch it travel all the way down to your spine to your tailbone. And then watch it come all the way back up from the tailbone, up through your spine and out through your nose. So I'm only going to give you one. I'm only going to give you one breathing exercise for today because I don't want you to get confused. So if it starts to get intense, just start to focus on that breath. You can even give that breath a color. And you can watch it as it travels down the spine. And you can watch it as it travels down. Again, this can be really intense. You don't watch me, you keep going. This can be really intense practice. So I want you to just do whatever you can, right? We don't want to force anything. So we do want to come into this cool. If you're just joining me, come into it cool. So not right after a strenuous workout, because we want to get into the deep connective tissues, the joints, the bones, okay? And if we come into it warm, we're going to work the muscles. We're going to work the yang, the muscles and the tendons, okay? That's the difference. And take your time, slowly lift up. And now we're going to come into a melted heart pose, all right? You can move your bricks out the way. And it's kind of like a child's pose a little bit, but you're going to lift your hips up more, reach your fingertips out, and bring your heart down. All right, you're really going to feel, I'm going to start the timer, you're really going to feel those shoulders. And again, if it becomes too intense, you can always bring something up underneath your chest in order to support you. Allow your heart to melt down. And then breathe into the sensation that you feel. Use the breath cue. Focus on lengthening the breath, moving the breath in through the nostrils all the way down through the spine to the tailbone, and then back up through the spine and out the nostrils. Good. From here, slowly, slowly come on up. And we're gonna do a rebound pose just to bounce back for about a minute. So come into a child's pose and bring your arms behind you. And then just relax your head down. I'm gonna go ahead and use a block. Just let those shoulders release. Very good, lift up. All right, the next pose that we go into is gonna be one of our longer holds. This is gonna be for our hips, working into that energetic sacral chakra. So let's start with the left foot. Step that foot on the outside of the left hand, okay? And then go ahead and scooch your right knee back. Now immediately you're gonna feel a little sensation here. If you need support for underneath your knee, you can roll up a mat, set it underneath your knee, or use a blanket to go underneath. That's gonna be up to you. So this is dragon pose. I had a little cramp. So you're gonna feel the outer hip and then the hip flexor on the right side. I'm gonna go ahead and start the timer. And about halfway through, we're gonna come into a resting dragon, okay? Now again, we feel our hips, we feel the sensation. And I know for me, I have a sensation to not stay still. So the challenge for me is just gonna be to stay still. If that's the challenge for you, take that breath that we were just talking about. Focus on it, focus on making it longer. Our sacral chakra, they have to do with intimate connections, self and with others. So as we go into these yin poses for our hips, we're going into those deep processes, those things that are stored in our tissues. We're hoping to open and release it. When and if you're ready, I'm going to grab a block. You can lower into resting dragon. I have a block to support my forearms. If you feel like you want to bring your forearms all the way down to the mat, you can. Again, just breathe. Take your time, and as you lower, as you settle into different versions of this posture, notice first. Notice the sensation, try to breathe into it. Again, since this is one of our longer holds, if you're new to yin and you need to back off of it, come back up to the level previous, okay? I don't want you to hurt yourself or anything like that. Or if you're like, that's enough, it's been 3 minutes. So if you're like, that's enough, then of course back off, push into child's pose or another comfortable, and meet us in the next position. I got my little crackling fireplace sounds. That's too much for you. Go ahead and turn down your volume. You can always, and I should have said this about 4 minutes ago, but you can always use a bolster or pillow to bring your heart down for support. If this is too much, I'm holding myself up by my forearms, and I'm working a lot in my arms and shoulders. So again, if that's too much, support yourself. And even though we want to get out of this, I want you to push up slowly. Use your palm, come to the other palm, and then push back. Step back with that left foot. Move slowly. We really, really want to be like, no, I want to get out of this quickly. We want to move slowly, but we want to be safe with those tissues that we just stretched. Now I'm going to put this blanket underneath my rib cage just to support my stomach because I don't want to come down on my stomach. If you want to do the same, you can. We're going to come into a Sphinx pose for about a minute. So this is another one of our rebound poses. And if you notice, our hips are stretched out. Ooh, nice, huh? If this is too much in that 1 minute, you can always come down to crocodile. Not to squeeze into the butt muscles. Release everything. Good. All right. Our next pose is going to be for the shoulders. So let me move this stuff out the way so you can see what I'm doing. All right. It's called a floor scorpion. So come down all the way onto your belly. Let me change the time. We're going to do this one for, again, the shorter amount of time since it's our shoulder girdle. So we're going to lie down on our belly. Take this left hand, extend it out to a T. So you can't see my left hand, so here's my right hand. Okay? So left hand is going to be extended out to the side like a T. We're going to plant down into this right hand and then push ourselves open. Ooh, nice shoulder. And then lift the top knee, which is the right knee. Bend the knee and put it behind this extended left leg where the knee is pointing up towards the ceiling. And that's our floor scorpion. Now for me, I'm going to go ahead and rest my head on the brick. This is a nice shoulder opener. So again, I've put today's focus as the shoulders, hips, the heart chakra, and the heart meridian. And the heart meridian, as like I said, they're pathways, they travel all through the body. And the heart is definitely directed at the heart, and it's also connected to the spleen. The heart chakra, or excuse me, the heart meridian, the element is fire. And I really like this one because when we think about fire, if it's connected to our spleen, it talks about all the food that we take in and stuff that we digest and what we push out. So let's think about that heart meridian, that fire, and that burning away of everything that we don't need. But also, excuse me, but a fire is also a light. It's a very strong element. It's also a light. And we don't want that fire in us to go out, right? Very good. Now, just like the last pose, very sensitive in the shoulder. So go ahead and straighten the legs back out and come back onto your stomach. Now, for the rebound pose for this, you're going to take this left hand. I'm going to show you on the right side, and just bring the hand behind you. Let the elbow come down. All right, so that's going to be on our left side since we just did our left shoulder. And I'm just going to take my right hand and lay right on my hand, just for about 10 breaths. I won't use the timer in our rebound poses. Let's just take about 10 breaths to relax that shoulder up. Very good. Bring that left palm right underneath the shoulder, right at the top of the ribs. So we're just going to lift up and do a little cobra pose. So pull the shoulders back and down beneath the butt cheeks. Just stretching out the front of the body. Opening up that heart. Good, come on down. Let's do the right side. Let's do the floor scorpion on the right side. All right. So we're going to take that right arm out to a T. That left palm is going to plant right in front of our chest. Push open. Open your chest, excuse me, off to the left. I'm going to start the timer. And again, if you need to support, I'm gonna bring I'm gonna bring my tablet over just in case anybody says anything I can see. Yeah, again, very carefully. You can extend this top leg, roll back over onto your tummy, and then let's take that rebound pose on the right side. Just for about 10 breaths. And slowly unwind that hand, bring the palms right underneath the shoulders. Let's lift back up into cobra just for a few breaths. Good. From here, just want you to curl your toes and lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Just a little rebound and transition into the dragon on the other side. So we gotta release those blood muscles. And those hamstrings. All right, let's come back down to our knees. Let's do the right side. All right, dragon. So step the right foot to the outside of the right hand. And then again, scooch that left knee back as far as it will go. And by that, I mean as far as You can stand to where there's a little bit of intensity. All right. I'm going to turn off those fireplace sounds because they were annoying me a little bit. All right, let's turn on the timer. There we go. About halfway through, we'll go down into the resting dragon. Again, if you need something to go underneath your left knee in order for support, if you're having knee issues, then please do. If this gets to be too much on the palms of the hands, you can come down into the resting dragon a little bit earlier. And then just breathe. Try to breathe into that left hip flexor, excuse me, and that right outer hip. I'm just gonna get ready for my resting dragon. I know I'm gonna need 2 bricks on this side. I'm a little bit tighter. All right, so when you're ready, come onto your forearms and either onto a brick or all the way down to the mat. Whatever is best for you. You'll notice I'm just moving the bricks in just to help me get a little bit deeper. These are just options. Lift up. Again, this is very sensitive. So as much as you want to push out of this pose because it's so intense, I want you to move slow. It's intense for me. So if it's intense for you, please move slowly. Step back. I want to come into another Sphinx just to straighten out the legs. Oh, and straighten out the hip flexors. Good. Plant the palms, curl the toes, lift the hips up and back. Now we're facing dog for the glutes, the outer hips, the hamstrings. Good. Come back down into table. So before we go into this next pose, let's set up our reclined, our little reclined position. So the first brick is going to be on the tallest level, level 3, and then the second brick is going to be a little bit in front of it on the second level, level 2. And then we're going to take our bolster and lay it back. Okay, so we got a little recline, like a reclined chair or something like that. It's going to be awesome. All right, so this next set of poses is going to be for hips and shoulders at the same time. But we'll hold the hips for 5 and then the shoulders for just a few, okay? So come into a table pose. Let me turn to the front so you can see, and then I'll turn back. We're going to take this right knee and cross it over the left knee, okay? Let's turn back to the front. And then we're going to sit our hips back so that the feet are going to come out to the sides, and we're going to sit back in between, not on the bolster, not yet. We're going to sit back in between the legs. All right. Ooh, that's nice. So automatically you might be feeling it in this outer hip on the right side. I know I am. So my knees don't cross just because of my body. So we're not trying to force it like, we're not trying to crunch them together, but just do the best you can because you're definitely going to feel it. All right, then we're going to take eagle arms for a few moments. So since the right leg is on top, the right arm is going to come underneath. So right arm, hold your arms up so elbows in line with the shoulder. Bring your right arm underneath the left, okay? Now, if you can wrap around again and bring your palms together, that's totally fine. If this is not available for you, you can always just bring your elbows together, okay? Hug your shoulder blades back and down. All right, I'm going to start the timer. So pull your shoulders back and down, and then just give me a fold, just a slight fold. Now you don't have to hold yourself up. You can bring your palms down onto your knees, drop your head, but just keep hugging those shoulder blades back. I know gravity wants to pull them forward, but if you're only gonna hold this for a little bit. Just another minute or so for the eagle arms. So continue to try to just draw the shoulder blades back. And feel the opening in the back of the shoulders. Again, heart chakra, heart meridian is going to talk about opening all those areas, not just the front, but that area, the middle of the back of the shoulders. It's going to be our joy. Our happiness overflowing. If you're ready to come out of that eagle arm, just slowly lift up and again move slowly. And then you can take your arms down by your sides for the remaining time and fold in. I don't know if I mentioned the pose. This is shoelace pose. Fold in and relax. If you need to put, I don't want to stop stressing that, okay? I don't want you to strain your neck. If this is too much, put a pillow, put a bolster, put it up underneath your forehead and rest. Very good. Slowly come on up. Now to come out of this one, you might want to use your hands to help out. And from here, we're going to come into our rebound pose, which is going to be a reclined, supported butterfly, Supta Baddha Konasana. So that's why we have our little prop here. So we're going to put our tailbone right on the edge of it and lean back. Hopefully it doesn't fall. Yeah, we got it. Oh, I got these funky ponytails in the way, so I got to turn to the side. So here, this is our rebound pose. So allow the shoulders to open, allow the hips to open. And just breathe. Maybe about 10 breaths. Again, our rebound poses, we're gonna hold for about 10 breaths. And then we have a couple more, actually we have one more side. And then we're gonna go into some more restorative to end off the practice. Good. All right, when you're ready, you can stay here as long as you want. When you're ready, go ahead and push yourself up. Mine is falling, so next time we come to it, I'm gonna fall. All right, come back to your hands and knees. And then let's do the other side. So again, I'll show you from the front. We're doing the left side this time. Bring that left foot up, cross it over your right. The feet are gonna come out to the side and we're just gonna gently push ourselves back into that shoelace pose. Ugh, you hear me make a sound? Ugh. This side is a little bit different. I'm not going to judge it. Don't judge it. I was just about to judge it. Don't judge it. This side's a little bit different for me. Woo! All right, so let's do the eagle arm. Since our left leg is on top this time the left arm will be under. Okay, so again, left arm comes under, right arm is on top this time. You can bring the palms together. If that doesn't work, again, you can bring the elbows together. Cool? All right, hug those shoulder blades back. Hold in. And again, the eagle arms, we're gonna hold just for a couple of minutes. Let me get my timer so I can make sure to get you out of it. And then we'll keep holding the shoelace pose. Again, the gravity is trying to bring you down, but pull those shoulder blades back. If it's easier for you to lift up and hold here, that's totally good. I'm going to try that on this side this time. And then just melt in whenever you feel the sensation. Use the breath that we've been talking about all day. Focus on lengthening the inhales and the exhales as the breath comes in. Move it all the way down to the tailbone, all the way down the spine, and then back up the spine out through the nostrils. Okay. Just repeating that just in case you just popped on, just passing by. All right, if you're ready to come out of those eagle arms, remember, move slow, move slow. And then we'll take the rest of this shoelace pose. Just fold in, either reach the fingertips out or out to the side. I might back off this a little bit. The right side is where I had my injury, so I can feel a little bit in my calf. So you keep going. I'm just going to straighten out my right leg just a little bit. Don't follow me unless you need to stretch it out. But I had an injury in the soleus on my right side, my calf muscle, my deep calf muscle. And it's been a few months, so it may not be completely healed. But we also got to know when we need to back off. And then if you can come back into it. We're working good on time. Looks like I'm get you guys out of here on time. One side is going to be different than the other, so if you need to feel more, of course, always hold in, take it deeper. But again, only to the point where you feel that tension, that mild tension. And slowly lift yourself up. Take this left leg off, and we'll come back into that recline. Ooh, my right calf feeling a little bit. We'll come back into this recline butterfly sutta, Baddha Konasana. Hopefully my bricks don't fall. Just for a few moments. Let those shoulders splay out to the side. Knees are open. Feel everything. Just open up and release. Good. Let's lift ourselves back up nice and slow. We're going to take our legs out to let's get away from the wall. Take the legs out to a V. We're going to take our tools here, our props. Let's get the bricks. We're going to stack them on the highest level, level 3. And then we're going to go ahead and put our bolster on top. This is going to be super fun, right? Just lay down. Woo! So we can feel this in the inner thighs. Maybe if you want to scooch forward a little bit more to feel it in the inner thighs. You can do that. Relax if you want to feel a little more intensity, like I'm feeling I can maybe go a little bit more, maybe. Yeah, there she is. There she is. Try to relax. Soften into it. Soften these knees too. Keep the feet flat. So that we protect all this whole chain, the hips, plugging that hip bone in. And that's where our knee stuff starts. It starts if our hips are tight. And that's where we hold all our tension in our hips, and then if our hips are tight, then we put that load on our knees and in our ankles and our feet. We just want to reverse that. We want to prevent any knee issues, any hip issues, or help to relax anything that we've been going through. You see I've lowered the levels. If that's what you feel that. Don't make it too intense. Just keep breathing. Good. From here, again, take your time, slowly come out of this. And then I'm going to give you a few options for our Shavasana. Let's see. So we can take, let me get these off the way so that you can see. We can take our bolster, our pillow, right on the tailbone, kind of like that reclined position that we had. Close the feet, and then just lay back over the, excuse my little bit belly. Lay back over the bolster. We can take the bolster underneath the knees and lie back. Relax. We can not have anything up underneath us, so just lay straight back in Shavasana. But since this was yin, I do want you to have us supported, just in case, okay? This is our rest. This is where we just release everything. Keep an eye on that time for us. And keep breathing. Now you can stay in this Shavasana long after this live broadcast is over if you would like. If you want to come out of it now, just start to move your fingers and toes. Open and close the hands. And this is when you do decide to come out of it. Make sure you come out of it gently. Move the fingers and toes. Do a little rotation of the wrist, the ankles. Turn the head from the left to the right. I'm just going to roll off to the side to move my bolster out the way. And then I'm going to actually just roll onto my side into the fetal position. Just taking a moment before we push up into a comfortable seated position. Again, you can stay in Shavasana for as long as you would like to. Let the computer just go off, let the live just go off, and you stay there if you have the space and the time. So let's bring our palms together right at our heart center and we bow in. And that is just to honor ourselves. Nobody else. We need to honor ourselves. We need to honor ourselves more, especially during this time. We want to honor the places that we practice, the people that we practice, as well as our own practice. Because if our cup is not full, if we are not strong, there's no way that we can help anybody else. On airplanes, you know, if anything happens, the oxygen mask come down, they ask you to do you first, right? So that you can help others. I thank you so much for joining me for this yin practice. I wish you light, love, peace, and joy in your journey. Namaste.